Is the president of North Korea a criminal? You bet he is. Imagine this, it's November 2013, a chilly day, but your office is warm enough. Your boss asks you to get on a bus with a bunch of co-workers. You count 10 buses, 50 people on each bus, that's 500 people. The buses head north. After 40 minutes you arrive at the Kang Military Academy in the suburbs. Some sort of political statement, maybe a team building thing. Two guys you vaguely know from work, Ri Ryong-ha and Jang Soo-gil, are at one end of the firing range. At the other, 8 Russian-designed ZPU anti-aircraft guns. After a short speech, the guns open fire, literally obliterating the two men. Oh, but the spectacle isn't over. Just in case you didn't get the point, what's left of the bodies are then blasted with flamethrowers and then run over with tanks. If that wasn't enough, to your horror, you realise the men's families are there to watch it all. The message couldn't be clearer. The portly, square-haired president of North Korea is a gangster, a crime family boss who rules with absolute authority. Kim is a killer. To date, he's killed about 340 people. He started with his uncle by marriage, Jang Song-thaek. Uncle Jang was the second most powerful man in North Korea. He was Kim's mentor. When Kim came to power in 2011, it was Uncle Jang who helped him cement his authority. Uncle Jang was powerful. Kim saw him as a threat. Uncle Jang was arrested for treason. There was a trial. Uncle Jang didn't get a lawyer and he wasn't allowed to speak in his own defence. He was convicted. Of course he was convicted. His crime? Well, according to the indictment, he was disrespectful to Kim. Uncle Jang stood up too slowly when Kim gave a speech and was only half-heartedly clapping. Uncle Jang was executed. In December 2013, in his obituary, North Korea's official news agency, KCNA, described Uncle Jang as worse than a dog and a despicable human scum. Uncle Jang's corpse and head were put on display in a government building, but it didn't end there. Uncle Jang's name was removed from all official records. In May of 2014, Uncle Jang's wife, Kim's aunt, complained. So Kim killed her, and Uncle Jang's nephew, and his brother, and both his brother's children. Oh, and his sister, and her husband. All of them were poisoned. Those two guys at the top of the video, they were just two guys who worked for Uncle Jang in party headquarters. Kim's rule is tyrannical. By 2015, only 4 years into his reign, he was executing people at a rate of 1 a week. In March 2015, 4 members of North Korea's Unhasu Orchestra were executed. Kim's wife used to sing with the orchestra, and they were probably killed for gossiping about her. In April 2015, Kim executed General Haeon Yong-Chol, Minister of the People's Armed Forces, again with an anti-aircraft gun. The 66-year-old general was branded a traitor after he fell asleep during a speech. In May 2015, Cho Yong-gon, the Deputy Minister of Construction and Building Material Industries, was executed because Cho wasn't planting enough trees to prevent flooding during a drought. Later that month, Kim visited a terrapin farm. The manager of the farm explained that some of the terrapins had died because of recent power failures and a lack of food and a lack of water. He was almost certainly trying to get help from his leader, the president, and to protect the terrapins he probably loved. He was shot as Kim's motorcade drove away. In June 2016, the Minister for Education, Kim Young-jin, was executed by firing squad because he had a bad attitude. Kim has killed 6 of his army chiefs, 5 of his defence ministers, 3 of his deputy defence ministers, and 4 of his armed forces ministers. The last murder we know about took place on the 13th of February 2017. Kim killed his older half-brother, Kim Jong-Nam. This is an odd story. For a start, the two brothers had never actually met. You see, Kim's dad was the dictator, Kim Jong-il, and he had a very complex love life. But basically he had 4 wives and at least 6 kids by various women. Kim Jong-nam was his firstborn son by the film star Song Hae-rim. He was being groomed to be the next dictator. But in 2001 he was arrested in Japan on a forged passport trying to go to, well, of all places, Tokyo Disneyland. It was all very embarrassing. Kim Jong-nam publicly said he didn't want to be the next leader of North Korea and he was basically exiled to Macau. He lived his life as an amiable playboy, but his younger brother, President Kim, felt his older brother was still a threat. On the 13th of February 2017, Kim Jong-nam was at Kuala Lumpur Airport in Malaysia. He was en route, once again, to Disneyland. This is where it gets bizarre. 2 women, one Indonesian and one Vietnamese, were at the airport. The women thought they were taking part in a prank for a Japanese TV show. They were offered $100 each to spray lotion on people's faces at the airport. The TV guys pointed out older brother Kim and the girls sprayed his face. What they were actually smearing on his face were 2 precursors. When combined, they created the VX nerve agent, a very toxic chemical weapon. Kim Jong-nam died in agony 15 minutes later. There was a massive international outcry. The Malaysian embassy was closed. The North Korean ambassador was slung out of the country. The USA listed North Korea as a terrorist state and imposed sanctions. American newspapers said Kim Jong-nam was a CIA informant. North Korea denied all involvement, but when the Vietnamese demanded an apology for involving one of their citizens, North Korea almost immediately said, sorry. So why does he do it? Kim kills for the same reason 3 generations of the Corleone family killed in the Godfather trilogy. Respect. Just like the Godfather, Kim kills policemen, trusted lieutenants, even his own brother. Any opposition, any dissent is met with obliteration. There's not even a body left for the family to bury. Underlying all of this is a very cruel psychology. If you are disloyal, you're a non-entity. It's not just about changing your behaviour. It's not even really about fear. No, it's about changing how you think. The regime is more important than the individual, more important than justice, more important than love, because the regime is love. In official portraits, Kim is always photographed smiling. That's because in North Korea, Kim Jong-Un is known as the personification of joy. I'm just happy I live in Hartford.